She's not in her dress in this shot. Don't panic. It's okay. It's not like I missed this blatant inconsistency in the previous episode and had someone share it with me. Oh boy, it's finally Wednesday, and you all know what that means. What were we gonna do on Wednesdays? It wasn't the play button unboxing. Oh, Zelda cartoons? It's time for some more Zelda cartoons, because what better way to de-stress yourself from school and homework than watch everyone's favorite series? I don't know, maybe play some Breath of the Wild? But going through 13 entire episodes of the series might be a bit too much for those with queasy stomachs. That's where my videos come in, because you get to watch someone that is watching the show. Yes, here at NintendoBlackCrisis, we have the best of the best when it comes to entertainment. Also, ignore that queasy stomach joke. So far, this show hasn't really been that bad. This is part 3 of the series of videos covering this cartoon, so we'll be starting on the 4th episode, Kiss and Tell, with one of the most jarring transitions ever. Like, given the perspective and placement of objects, these two areas being connected makes no sense. We know it's not supposed to be two separate scenes because the trees here serve as background for both the castle and the woods. We've only got to the title and I already want to lie down. So Zelda decides to go on a little adventure herself, and without Link since he's still asleep. And she runs into a poor woman that is being attacked by a ferocious 3-headed dragon. Or is it a dinosaur?
What a scrumptious morsel! Darling, you look good enough to eat!
I mean, it's not the kind of pickup line I'd use, but I guess it worked. Oh. You mean actually eat her since you're a dragon.
From this 3-headed freak!
Hey, watch the insults, will you? Yeah, that's not in the script.
Yeah, it's 2019. You can't go around calling people names. In fact, if anyone even thinks about calling me a freak in the comments, I'll report you to the YouTube FBI. I have connections, you know. Of course, Zelda doesn't like the idea of competition for Link, so she decides to team up with the dragons and brutally murder this poor, innocent, totally not suspicious woman. Just kidding. She fights the dragons off with their one weakness: fruit.
Back off, Gleeok!
This is all well and good, but there's something missing from the scene. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Jeff, eat a Snickers. Better? Better.
Now that I think about this, Zelda should really try out for the softball team. I mean, did you see those pitches? Zelda subdues the dragon and tries to rescue this poor lady, but she is insistent on being saved by a handsome hero.
I want to be rescued by a handsome hero!
Somebody call me?
No. She said handsome hero, not hero.
Ah, he's here at last. Oh, Ganon's plan is working perfectly.
These dragons don't seem to have a problem saying that in front of Link. Though, in this cartoon, the rules of when someone can and can't hear something appear to be non-existent. Our not very handsome but still a hero makes quick work of the two heads, marking the first time in Zelda history for someone to be decapitated. It's a lot less gruesome than I thought. I guess the necks weren't actually attached to the body? Unfortunately, Link kind of forgets that this isn't Super Mario 64, but it's okay because we've already established that fruit is their greatest weakness.
Did my part.
Here's some good news. Link finally gets that kiss. Bad news, it wasn't with Zelda. Even more bad news, he turns into a frog. Even more bad news, the beautiful lady was actually a Gibdo. You know, that enemy that is the thing of nightmares for kids who play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask? Yes, Link kissed that. Zelda gets a bit jealous of Link's expanding harem though, and decides to brutally murder this poor creature that only wanted to find love. Rest in peace. As you have already guessed, this is supposed to be a take on the Princess and the Frog fairy tale. In fact, I'm surprised this episode isn't even called that. Sure, it might be unoriginal, but anything would have been better than Kiss and Tell. Back at Ganon's evil lair, we find out more about his plan to obtain the Triforce of Wisdom. I guess he wants to kidnap Zelda since Link is now a frog. Also, a moment of silence for the other two dragon heads. They don't appear in the evil jar, so we can only assume that they dead. Okay, silence over. We cut back to our heroes as Zelda tries to comfort Link. On the bright side, he's looking a lot more handsome by the minute.
Hey, you still have me. I'll always be your friend. This is my friend, well, an acquaintance. Somebody I know slightly. His name's Stink. I'll always be your friend.
Okay, jokes aside, I really did like this moment between Link and Zelda. As I said in the previous episode, this is where you begin to see some character development for both of them. But I guess Ganon doesn't like the idea of emotionally investing characters because he shoots that idea down. Quite literally. Sweet Hylia, it's back. I know I made this joke previously with the vines that grab Zelda, but this is quite literally a tentacle scene. 'Cause it's an octopus. Of course, since Ganon is such a great guy, he leaves a farewell gift with our protagonist.
You, take care of him.
Link, not to alarm you, but you should probably do something about those hungry-looking spiders. I've seen bugs eat a frog before. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I actually kind of feel bad for the spiders. You'd expect them to cause a bit more trouble, but they literally had only like 18 seconds of screen time. Link now has to find Zelda, and to do that, he first returns to the castle where Sprite is waiting. She doesn't take the news very well.
Prepare yourself for a shock.
Also, given his new obsession with eating bugs, Sprite gets understandably nervous. Though, let's be honest, who even cares about Sprite? I think it would be a good thing if Link just used his tongue to eat her. Wait, that did not come out right. Luckily, the Triforce of Wisdom is there to help our heroes with this very useful advice.
When one's in need of sage advice, one must seek out the one who's wise.
So, according to the Triforce of Wisdom, we must find someone who is wise. That's what the Triforce said. The Triforce of Wisdom. Best not to think too hard about it. We still have a ways to go, and I can't afford to lie down again. So according to the Triforce, we need to find the Witch of Walls. After the solution is given to us in the form of a riddle, because it's always a riddle, our heroes find the spot and come face to face with this thing.
What is this? Ugly People Day?
Sprite decides to fly off while Link and the Witch of Walls talk. Remember this part because it's important for later on. The witch takes a look at the curse and tells us what the cure is.
The cure is simple. You must be kissed by a princess of her own free will.
I love how she had to include the of her own free will part. Does she say that to everyone? Or maybe she knows about Link and his habits of being, aggressive when it comes to affection.
Oh boy, smooching time!
We return to see the fate of poor Princess Zelda, who seems to be tied up at the moment.
Your father will
Pay dearly to get you back. The price? One Triforce of Wisdom.
and perhaps a little kiss.
What? Did this just go from Ganon wanting the Triforce of Wisdom to wanting Zelda? But why? We're at episode 4, and this is the first time it's being brought up. One good thing about this series is how it barely played the damsel in distress card. So adding the sudden development for Ganon feels like it's taking a step back. And speaking of Zelda being captured, this layer must have tons of empty cells that he could put her in. I'm just saying, any reason you have her tied up in your bedroom? Luckily, Ganon won't be doing anything questionable to Zelda tonight, as Link is already infiltrating his evil lair. It's a very daring move on his part, but it will be okay as long as they stay quiet. Dang it, Sprite. Ganon hears a scream, of course, and decides to go look for Link, meaning that he leaves Zelda unguarded. 10 out of 10 bad guy, everyone. Link does manage to find Zelda, and this is when you realize how stupid Ganon's plan actually was. When you think about it, Link being a frog hasn't hindered his abilities in any way. In fact, it did the exact opposite. He's able to jump super high along with climb just about anywhere. And here we even see his capability of using the sword. So what was Ganon thinking when he changed Link to a frog? I suppose it could have been done to hurt his pride, but he gets over it pretty quickly. Link frees Zelda, but there's still the curse that has to be broken. So he tells the princess that she has to kiss him to undo Ganon's spell. And I'm surprised how she just kind of believes him without any second thoughts. I understand that this is an urgent situation, but let's just say that Link is the kind of guy who would use this to his advantage just to get a kiss from Zelda. But we've been through this song and dance before. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Yes, Sprite kisses Link, which as a result breaks him from his curse.
Good idea!
So, after escaping, we get to find out why Sprite's kiss worked.
Naturally, my father was the king of the fairies, you know. That makes me a princess.
So basically, that whole quest to turn Link back into a human was all for nothing. Or I would say that, but remember that one scene where Sprite left the witch and Link? Yeah. It was so this situation would happen, because Sprite wasn't able to hear that the cure was to be kissed by a princess. Except for one thing. When Link confronts Zelda with the matter, this happens.
You're the only one that can make me human again.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good.
This is implying that she knew what Link was going to ask Zelda, so sometime on their journey to Ganon's lair, she had to have been informed of what the witch said, and yet she didn't ever let Link know that she was a princess. Because... logic. With all that said, I did like the idea of this episode. I just think that the execution of it could have been a little better. I try to cover 2 episodes of the show for each video, but there was a lot to talk about here. Thank you for watching the video, and if you want to see more, I am planning on covering the entire series. So in the meantime, you can subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Special thanks to all my patrons, as you are all awesome. Links to my Patreon, Discord, and Twitter are below. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to mentally prepare myself for this Friday. Link's Awakening hype, anyone?